First 30 years of my life, I didn't give a fuck about nothing when it come to politics. I remember thinking as a child that Bill Clinton was a pretty cool motherfucker. Getting head in the Oval Office, playing saxophone on Arsenio Hall. Just the general idea of who I thought Bill Clinton was the first 30 years of my life was dude's a cool dude. I remember when Obama got elected. I was in prison at the time and watching the entire fucking prison explode the moment he got elected. Just fucking borderline riotous. As much energy and excitement as this prison had in the moment Obama got elected. And I got it. I understood the connection for most of the people I was around and the excitement that they felt in that moment electing the first black president. And that was truly the extent of my thoughts at that time about Obama. Dude seems cool. Probably the type of dude I could smoke a joint with or drink a cup of coffee with and just shoot the shit with watching a football game or something. That's really the vibe I got off Obama. Next couple years, still nothing. Just no idea of the reality of politics. What was what, who was who, why shit was why. So just growing up with the general Democrat vibe with almost everybody I knew. Almost my entire family wasn't real big into politics, but the general vibe from everybody was a Democrat, like a JFK type Democrat. So keeping that borderline ignorance, anything I thought or felt was from the side of how it was presented to me through television, through media, through movies, through music, through pop culture, through the general mainstream in which I digested all my information, all my intake was through the media on what was what, who was who. Probably about 10 years ago, probably right around there. I know it's been a good decade at this point. Scrolling along on YouTube, somehow ended up on a CNN debate. You know, like their typical kind of conversations between like somebody on the right, somebody on the left. I don't even remember what the fuck they were talking about. I want to say, I've tried for the life of me to remember what this fucking video was, and I just can't. But this video, this one sole video, was responsible for truly 180ing my entire existence, my entire outlook on the fucking world with this one fucking video. I almost think it was Newt Gingrich, who I'm not a fan of, but I want to say it was him because this dude was sharp. But I remember watching this video, probably a 10-minute clip, you know, your typical CNN type, one man on one side, one man on the other side, split screen, going back and forth about something. It wasn't even a topic I really cared about, but just listening to these two people caught my attention. After the video, I went to the comment section, and every comment under that video was everything that I hadn't taken away from that video. And I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. How could we all have watched the same video and taken away such different ideas from it? But I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a light switch going off in my head of everything I've been told was from the side of one side. Everything I've been presented with, shown, told, has been from the side of a team. That day it all fucking flipped for me. Reading those comments that were so fucking opposite from what I took away listening to these two men talk for 10 minutes, I didn't get it. It didn't add up to me. Like it was 2 and 2 makes 1,476. That's just how wacky it was to me. So for the sake of my own sanity and seeing how every comment was everything opposite of what I took away from this video, I had to rewatch it. Like just to make sure that I wasn't fucking crazy, I need to rewatch this video. And I remember replaying the entire video and feeling the same way I did after the second watch that I did on the first watch. And I reread those comments, and it was a volcano just going off in my head of nothing is what it fucking seems. Nothing is reality at this point for me. And that day, it all went fucking bananas. I remember it just being such a shake to my foundation of almost everything I thought I believed up until that moment in my life. And that was the day I got into politics. And it was a solid, probably 2-3 years of my life where I was gung-ho right. I wasn't like a far right type, but I was definitely Team Republican from that day forth. Just listening to everybody. If you're a common sense, reasonable motherfucker, and you can listen to a Democrat and a Republican, and at the end of it still come away with it a fan of the Democrats, at least the nowadays Democrats, it's I don't know what to tell you. But that over time slowly started to wear out because I started to learn that there were reasonable people on the left. There were Democrats that weren't partisan, hack, biased fucking cunts. It probably took I want to say it took a good 4 or 5 years of me being solid right, solid Republican, to a more nuanced, I don't want to say middle of the road, because generally with the more important issues, with the most important issues, which I feel, at least to me, are Republican issues. In a sense of freedom, to each their own, borders, country sovereignty, those type of things, to me at least, are the most important issues. So I've still not voted Democrat. It'd be hard for me to vote for a Democrat, especially in 2023. But I'll never forget that day and how eye-opening it truly fucking was to have lived the life of complete ignorance, complete fucking don't give a fuck about nothing, don't care. That was truly the extent. It was fuck the police, fuck America, America's a piece of shit, shithole fucking place. That was truly like most of my fucking upbringing. Rage Against the Machine. Like, I breathed and fucking lived that shit. My history proves that I lived and breathed and believed that shit to my core. Like, there was a time and day where I truly was a fucking anti-American, anti-cop, anti-corporation, run-of-your-mill, leftist dingbat, because I only heard it from the leftist side. That's almost everything that you're getting pumped through your television, through your fucking radio, through your internet, through your most anything is spun from a leftist perspective. That's just the reality of it. I think that day, I wish I could fucking remember what that fucking video was. But that is such a mind-shattering, foundational shake that day that it truly fucking took me down a path that I'm really grateful for, because it actually woke me up to a lot of shit. Woke me up to being able to recognize when somebody's a charlatan, when somebody talks a lot of shit but don't believe it, just a grifter type. Because the Republicans, I fucking despise almost all of them. A lot of them talk a real good fucking game. They talk that shit that they think they're supposed to talk, but at the end of the day, they're fucking cowards and they're liars. It's hard for me to even vote. It's hard for me to even fucking go to the voting place. It's hard for me to cast a vote when I already think you're probably a lying snake any fucking way. That's why I voted for Trump. So I voted for Trump 2020. I didn't give a fuck. That's why I voted for Trump in 2016. I didn't give a fuck. Oh, seeing him win was just fucking gold. Oh, that was so fucking gold, watching them motherfuckers cry when that man got elected. I remember going into the 2016 election when Trump was running and he was going across the country with all his speeches and rallies, and watching the people protest outside of his rallies, beating people up. I'll never forget that. Like, I remember watching those rallies and watching people chase kids around, 15, 16-year-old kids, beating the shit out of them. 3, 4, 5, 6 people, jumping them, beating them, kicking them, trashing people's cars, women, hurting women, old folks. I remember just watching that and feeling so disgusted that I didn't understand how anybody could defend it. And in reality, if they weren't defending it, they were just completely ignoring it. And they didn't want to see it. And they wouldn't watch it if you put it in front of their face. that really kind of also lit another fire up under me. It's such a mess at this point with everything we're in. I know I've said it a lot, but that's really why I started making videos. I know I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I know I'm not going to be for everybody. I know a lot of people can hear me talk and just immediately tune me out because of how I sound, words I choose to use. But I'd rather do that than nothing. Because ultimately, this whole fucking world's falling to shit. I just remember hearing my grandfather coming up, talk about, man, the world going to shit. The world going to shit. I used to laugh, oh, you just old. You just old. You just old motherfucker. The world ain't going to shit. The world going to be all right. Older I get, I really realize how fucking much he actually recognized 30, 40 years ago with it. And just how it's just a trajectory of the toilet bowl. Another person that really got me going was Billboard Chris. I don't know if you know that name. But I think he's a guy from Canada. He does a lot of the sandwich board, kind of just man on the street stuff. And he just goes out there with general statements on his sandwich board. Talk about, children cannot consent to puberty blockers. That guy really had a fire get going in me watching him and just seeing how just many people are actually either ignorant to the realities of a lot of it, they're lying about a lot of it, or they just deny it and will just not look at anything that isn't confirming what they want to think or feel. And watching a lot of his videos, a lot of Billboard Chris's videos really got me kind of going, really kind of got me ticking and thinking. It just, what if it mattered? What if it did help? What if just another voice in the ring letting people know this shit ain't right? Because most of these motherfuckers really just want to burn it down. They don't got no answers. They don't got no solutions. A lot of these people want to burn the fucking world down just to watch it burn. Just because they're miserable motherfuckers. Got nothing, no one, and this is it for them. This is it. This community in which they surround themselves. The deceit, the lies, the ugliness that comes with a lot of it. But that's really, it's just a look into kind of why and who and what got me going and got me wanting to do what I wanted to do with making these videos. I know there's a couple y'all that I see time and time again on my videos, and I really appreciate y'all. Some people might not agree. I'm to the point I don't really give a fuck no more. Stick around, because I'm not fucking going nowhere. They gonna have to ban me. They gonna have to shut me down. They gotta do something, because I'm not fucking stopping. Y'all ain't shutting me up.